Hey guys, it's Matt. It is Saturday, December 12th. I'm going to do a recap of the first 2 weeks here of December. I know just a few days back I put out my November recap, but yeah, I just wanted to take some time and go through the trades here of the beginning of the month. And let's jump in. So, first day I did 5 trades. My first trade was actually on BlackBerry, mostly because it was easy to borrow. You can see I missed this pop here to the first pivot. I was trading a little scared there, if I remember correctly, um, and then ended up taking this pop for a little scalp, and then another little scalp here, which I think they were both somewhat profitable trades. After that, I ended up taking this couple trades here on Arlo, ARLO. This first one, you can actually see I got short here and then stopped out. I remember there were two things here. One, I think I jumped to this really quickly and realized like, oh, this is a play. And I kind of jumped in a little too quickly and wasn't patient enough to say, okay, what's really going on here? Where's my good entry? And where's my risk? Because this, I forget how, but this thing just kind of popped up on, I hadn't been watching it since the open. You can see there was really nothing going on here, and all of a sudden it was popping up. So this first one I stopped out really quick. Part of that also was, and I have a tendency to do this when I get up a small amount on the day, I don't want to give it back. And then so I'm really quick to take losses. And that's a habit I need to break because it often stops me from having another good trade because I take a loss too quickly. So anyway, then you can see this entry was actually the start of a new trade, which again wasn't really a great entry. So I was probably rushing that a little bit, definitely in hindsight, although it did look like it was maybe going to continue downward. Anyway, and this, to be honest, this really wasn't a great short anyway, since there was really no, I like to use pre-market pivots as my shorts. These were, I think, daily pivots, so it wasn't great, but I managed it. So I got long, or I got short here and added some more here up against this pivot line where it reacted earlier, and then recycled some. So I stopped out a little bit here and got another add up here, and then got some covers here, which again could have been more patient and gotten some better covers here, but that's okay. Oh, and then there was those were the BB trades, and then there was an mRNA trade with very low size. Where was this? Here. See, way down here. That was probably in the afternoon there, before I started work, but that was nothing. I mean, this thing had just been fading all day, and I tried to take a little scalp out of this pop back up here. Okay, so that was Tuesday the 1st, and then Wednesday the 2nd. This is a trade that actually, oops. There's a 5-minute chart of this too. I'll show you that in a second, but basically what I thought was going to happen here, I was watching this out of the gates, and again, it was mostly because BlackBerry was easy to borrow, and that's kind of what I have to trade right now with CMEG, because the borrow fees are crazy. But kind of looked like it was going to fade all day, and so I was taking what I thought was a little pop here. And luckily, I had, because I knew there was a lot of upside risk here, I had my share size small enough that this was an okay entry. In hindsight, it was the wrong read, right? Because I really probably could have been tipped off by maybe the higher low here that it put it compared to that first candle. That maybe it was going to make a run up, but yeah, in the moment it just seemed like it was going to fade, and so this was basically a FOMO entry, right? This is the definition of FOMO. It was like, oh shit, this is going to fade without me, so I better take this small pop so I can get some. And I got some all right, but not in the right way. So then you can see it ran up here on me. I added, had to start recycling, and so I took some off here, added some back, Covered some here. Not sure where my average is at that point, but you can see I had to manage this one. But it was still below pre-market high, so I'm still short biased at that point. And even in fact, up through here, it's actually still below pre-market high. You can't see it on this chart, but if we flip to the 5-minute chart, you can see the pre-market high was way up here in the 880s. So go back to the 1 minute. So anyway, I got short here, recycled again, got short. I did stop out some at the top, although if you look at the 5-minute chart, I was thinking, okay, well, I'm going to stop out some here because we're probably pushing up to pre-market high, which is a pretty popular pivot. You know, things get to that area and they turn around. And so I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna stop out and give me some room to add up here. But we didn't get that. It just decided to kind of stop in the middle of things here, which you could maybe argue that there's a pivot here in hindsight, but I didn't really see that one well in the moment. So anyway, stopped out at the top, which is always a little frustrating. But again, it was following my rules and following my management strategy, so that's okay. And then I don't know where my average was at this point, but this was probably either just a cover of a small profit or maybe just taking some risk off at break even. And then it started to fade down, and you can see I kind of re-added once I saw like, okay, I think this thing is not going to end up making higher moves. It's going to tank down, and then I got what I wanted. So I started covering here, added back here, added some more here, covered, added some more. This was my last add, and it was actually pretty aggressive for me. At this point, then I was feeling like, okay, now I'm in the driver's seat here. This is the move that I've been wanting, that I thought I was maybe getting through here, and we're headed downward now. This is backside, and so this last add was, I believe, another 100 shares, which ended up, I had a 200 share position size, which, I know, in the grand scheme of things, that's not much, but for me to add that late in the morning, that kind of size was pretty cool, and I'm happy with the way I managed the rest of it. I took a little profit here. Let's see, I kind of probably hesitated here. I was looking for this a touchdown here. It never got that low, this level, but and then I let a lot of it fade and took my last exits really close to the end of the day here, and got this last one stopped out as it made a quick run back up here. So honestly, I mean, it's kind of a mess. It was a little bit of a fumble here in the beginning, but the way I hung in the trade, followed my rules, and managed it, I'm actually really happy with. So this is probably the trade maybe I'm most happy with myself, because I stayed calm in the initial errors here, and did a good job of keeping my losses low on this little push, and then really pouncing when the backside was confirmed, which is that's part of my rule set. So I'm good with it. All right, I feel like this is taking forever if I keep going into this much detail, so let's just get through some of these trades. December 3rd, I traded NSCO. Same thing, we're below pre-market high, and you can see it actually tapped pre-market high. So I took one at this pivot, I added here, stopped out a bit here, again thinking I stopped out at the top, but it did give me that pre-market high push, and I got a nice top tick add there, and then covered down through here. You can see I added back a little bit here at the end of the day, and then my last cover was here, probably on a stop out. I don't remember exactly how I managed that. Duo, I have no idea what this thing was. Oh, this was a rough day. Oh, I remember this trade now. Yeah, this thing had halted, and I bought this dip down here after the halt, like kind of a washout or dip trade. And then you see the second entry here. That was actually a fat finger, or really more of a mental error. It's not that I hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong button, but because I thought I was hitting the button to cover my trade, and I ended up adding. And once I realized I added, I was like, oh shit, I better get out. In hindsight, the ad was good, or would have been, and I could have. I mean, I could have taken a lot more of this. I'm just honestly, I'm not used to going long right now, and so I was a little uncomfortable taking this trade, which I should have been, as evidenced by the fact that when I thought I was getting out, I added to my position. So then when I did that, I just took the trade off really quickly and exited the whole thing. So that was this trade here. Then STRO was one. I don't know if I have. Do I have a picture of that? Yeah. This was a complete boredom trade. I was thinking this thing's gonna fade. The volume was super low. It was like watching paint dry, but it had a nice pop here, and I got short. And then, honestly, these were more of frustration exits than anything. I was just watching this just chop sideways, and with the crazy low volume, it was a bad entry. And you can see in my journal, I said, I entered STRO short and instantly regretted it. Like as soon as I got in, I was like, oh, through here, these first couple minutes here, I was like, I hate this trade, but if it's gonna fade, I'll just let it go, and maybe I'll put in a trailing stop and to walk away. But then it started to grind back on me, and I was like, I do not have the patience for this shit. It was a bad entry, and I'll just take the loss and go home. So that's what I did. And then on Monday, a couple of different trades here. BFT. Guess I don't really remember these, but it looks like same thing. We're below pre-market high here, so I got short because this was easy to borrow for me, and covered a little bit here, and then it kind of ripped back in my face, but I stopped out a little bit, take some risk off, got the re-short here, and then covered the rest through here. Although this was kind of, I think BFT is a SPAC, which those have been easy to borrow lately, but they're not always easy to trade. And you can see this thing was really going sideways. It wasn't the usual low float, flying pig as was it Nico over at what's the name of their prop firm? I forget now. Anyway, he's Inefficient Market on Twitter. This guy Nico, he calls them flying pigs. But those are the small caps that are just going to be propped and then fade. HCAC, same thing. Got short here on what I thought was a pop. It was grinding back to this level. A little more patience there would have probably a FOMO entry here, and a little more patience would have made this better entry here my main one. But then got some covers here, and so that was I basically broke even on that one, and then BFT was a winner. And then Tesla, do I have a shot of that? Yeah, I got short here a couple times, which was just I don't remember why I was shorting this. It was definitely a break of my rules. Just for anybody out there who's looking at this going, that was a dumb fucking trade. Yes, it was. This was a break of my rules and probably more of a boredom thing. And so, I'm still making those errors from time to time, although I'm getting better. And then traded BFT again this day. This was a great pop here. Let's see if we can zoom in on this. Right to this pre-market pivot. And so got short up here above that, covered some, and then it looks like I added here and then took off. Let's see if I wrote about that. I don't know what's going on there. I guess maybe the volume was low already there, and I just felt like I was going to get chopped out by what I call the computers battling each other, which is the algos start to look like they're just playing ping pong. But this is another one of those examples of where like I get up, I probably had a small profit coming out of this, and then when I added here and my average came down, I got nervous about then taking a loss, and so it caused me to stop out quickly rather than having a. So there's two things here. One, being so loss averse that I do stop out too quickly, but also This ad was a little early probably, and had I added with good size here, first of all, I wouldn't have needed an ad here. And then this ad is so aggressive that it brings down my average rather than waiting for maybe another pop to the same level to get a better average up here. Anyway, it's funny how quickly I realized that stuff though, and we'll see probably a few trades from the last day or two where this wasn't an option, or this wasn't a problem. Guess this is another day I took a BFT trade. And that ended up a winner, by the way, anyway. This apparently was a small winner. I'm not really sure what the hell I did there. Why I didn't cover a really small position or something. I don't know. Anyway, basically a break-even trade there. I got my ass handed to me on QS. I think that was a bounce play. And then I also, this Tesla trade hurts. Yes, this is QS. Was looking for a bounce off this pre-market high. So again, pre-market high tends to be where things react, right? And if it breaks through and it makes a pretty good run and it pulls back, a lot of times that's the low of the pullback, and you see some. So we were buying support there, and it just didn't work out. So I added here, small position, tried to add a little bit, and then just stopped out the rest. Looks like had I been more patient, I could have stopped out here. Probably break even, but I took the loss. And that's okay. It was a good stop out. I mean, you can see it never really did anything after that. Here's the one that hurts. So this is Tesla, same day. It's in a downtrend. I'm shorting this pop here. I recycle a little bit, get another ad. I have to laugh at this trade. So get another ad. I cover a little bit here. I get another ad at the same level because I'm thinking, okay, this is it, right? And here's what I'm doing. I'm using VWAP as my stop, right? Which in hindsight I realize that's the weak hand thing to do, right? That's the thing you do when you're the schmuck at the table. And you can see what happened is I use VWAP as my stop along with another bunch of schmucks, and the real players stepped in and shorted there, and then it just fades the rest of the day. And like huge fade. Right? I mean, look at that. We're talking from 640 something to 560. No, 590. Sorry, 590 something. So it would have been nice to have a position, a short position here. So this is just a matter of. I don't know. It was just bad and poor entry probably, and not patient enough to wait for VWAP as the entry, or a small crack of VWAP as an entry. And anyway, I'm not super upset about it because it wasn't a terrible loss, but it was it's frustrating to not have a position. Okay, so Thursday, UTSI, another similar one that I'm pretty happy about the way I managed it. We got a pop here to this first pre-market pivot, covered a little bit, covered some more. Oh wait, looks like I probably added here and then covered. And then got my final ad up here when it pops to this pivot area, and then got my final covers down through here. Yeah, I think that was it. And obviously could have held for more bleed there, but no big deal. And then SNOA on Friday. This was a good trade. So got a pop here early to this pivot, covered. Hesitated I wanted to really add some size here, and I hesitated, and that would have been awesome because this candle, this was like hey, it looks like we're gonna start heading higher, and then all of a sudden, within a split second, it dropped whatever this is from 1335 to like 12, and then it hesitated, and then it dropped into a downside halt like 1166. I took some off right before the halt, and then after the halt, kind of just let it do its thing. Covered down here. Got some ads back up through here as we headed back up toward VWAP. You can see I added and then covered half and added some more. added and covered, and then stopped out the rest here. Um, Now, I was continuing to watch this and sat on my hands, and I missed all of these. So I was thinking maybe this thing started to look strong, and I was thinking, okay, if we break above high of day here, then maybe this is a good long entry if we really get some juice to it. But it never did, and so I'd hesitated here. It's really this entry. I actually hit the button for an entry at 15.10 here, short, and just didn't get it. I think I hesitated just a split second, and by the time I hit it, it was gone. And then because it was saving 15s, it was kind of holding the 15 area for a bit. I took the order off, and it popped really quick back above 510. Probably would have filled me, and then just tanked. So yeah, it's a little bitter here that I didn't get this because this was an even better play than the first stuff in the morning here. I mean, that really is a wonderful short. But it's okay because I ended up, you can see I walked away with 112, which is a pretty good win for my account size. So okay, so that's enough of reviewing the trades. Hopefully that was somewhat useful for you guys. And if you have any questions or comments or anything, feel free to leave them in the comment section. But this is my P&L curve so far. So you can see I'm up 282 for the month, 2 red days, and 7 green days, although they show up blue on this in TraderView. I'm pretty happy so far. Obviously I wish this loss wasn't there on whatever ticker that was. I forget. But here are my stats so far. You can see a little better than 1-to-1. In fact, that's like a 3-to-2 winner to loser ratio plus a 72% win rate. 11 cents per share. I mean, those are winning numbers there. So not gonna be too upset about that. And yeah, I don't know that there's much more to show you. I don't think it's worth it to log into the back end to show you the commissions yet. We'll do that at the end of the month when everything shakes out. And then, anyway, I think that's about it. I can't think of anything that I didn't touch on. Questions, comments, again, leave them. And I try to get back. Sometimes YouTube doesn't notify me of when I get a new comment, so I apologize if I don't get back right away. It's not because I'm ignoring you. I usually respond right when I see them. It's just sometimes I don't see them right away. I don't get a notification, so I got to figure that out. But anyway, hope you guys are trading well, and talk to you soon.